I feel like the last several times we've been down here at the inlet, she's been firing, and today, as you can tell from these images, is absolutely no exception. We've got 15 to 18 mile an hour winds, an outgoing tide, and probably a solid 4 to 5s rolling offshore. As you can see, the Miami fire vessel trying to make its way out of Haulover Inlet is taking wave after wave right over the front of the bow, which doesn't lean too well to how our contestants are going to fare today. But welcome back, crew, to Boats versus Haulover, where man and machine take on Mother Nature down at beautiful Haulover Inlet here in Miami. It's going to be a challenging one. Even when you see the pros like this come out and they stuff it like this, it is absolutely going to be a wild day for your average recreational captain to get out there. But it's going to be interesting to see if our captains can get out here and not stuff it as much as these guys. Right there, you've got the triple stuffing in a row as this crew tries to make it out. We're hoping our contestants will have a little better luck, but this boat's probably at an unfair advantage. Right here you can see it nosedives again, a little heavier in the bow than most, and it's not really getting up on plane or running. Still more than safe for this vessel, but not safe for some of these open bow boats we're going to see today. But let's go ahead and get our competition started. And this, of course, is going to bring us to the first round of our contest. Here in the first round, the boats are going to go ahead and toss a bayliner in the ring. Yes, you saw those conditions, and I did just say a bayliner. Gonna be an interesting first round. So our crew is starting to make their way out. Cap right here, taking it easy, trying to assess the situation as he starts to approach the mouth of the inlet. Not really getting this one up on plane, but probably the best plan for this boat goes over a big wave, and they smack down hard on the other side. But that wave right there was probably every bit of 4 or 5 foot. It was just as tall as the canopy sitting on this boat, and that was more than enough for Captain to say, you know what? It's not for us today. This is not the day. We're going to take the old bayliner out of Haulover, and quickly turns it around and makes his way back in and heads toward the sandbar, a much better place for him to hang out. But unfortunately, he will take the loss in that first round, which will bring us to the second round of our contest. And here in the second round, the boats are going to toss a Midnight Express in the ring. Let's go and let's stop. That happened quick. They were approaching the inlet, and man, the bottom fell out from underneath them. They wind up submarining into the wave in front of them, and actually, look at this. They took out the windshield of the boat. They stuffed it so hard, the windshield actually winds up shattering. But here you can see the crew looks good. They've got it up on plane, thinking they're all right, and things just go absolutely terribly wrong in this situation. The crew is going to have to limp their way in from here. I don't see anybody injured. That's always my first thing I want to look for. When I see one of these windshields shatter, they typically go somewhere. So here we can see it hanging off part of the dash, but I was just making sure nobody got clocked in the head with it or nothing crazy like that. But overall, they seem to be okay as they work their way in. But unfortunately, Haulover is on fire and firing early, and this crew is going to take a loss as well. The boats are down 2-0 as we move into the third round of our contest. And here in the third round, the boats are going to toss a Sensation in the ring, and this is a make or break for the boats. They've got to get on the board here, or this one's going to be over. So our crew starts to make their way out wisely. Captain is heading toward the north side of the inlet. He knows what he's doing. He says, get me out of the middle of this mess, and he's going to hug up there. It's still a rough day. He's got the boat barely moving, not quite up on plane, but just enough to keep it up on top of the water a little bit as he's playing with the throttles as he comes over these big waves. Right there, he winds up sneaking his way out. They blast through one more, and they sneak out the north end, and all of a sudden, the boats are going to take a win here in the third round, which is finally going to get the boats on the board. As we move into the fourth round, it is now 2-1 Haulover. The boats have to keep that momentum going if they want to try and keep this contest going, and here we go. We've got a Wire 77 stepping into the ring, and man, this is a beast. I'm not sure, even with Haulover being as rough as it is today, is going to have anything for this boat. But our crew right here has got her rolling. They've got her up on plane, which is great for a vessel like this because it's keeping that bow high, and something like this is going to be hard for Haulover to rock off. Even if it pulls the bottom out from underneath it, just like we saw with that Midnight Express, this thing should power right through it without any issues. So we can see the crew looks pretty solid. The boat taking the waves right off the bow. There we go. They blast their way the same way we saw the Midnight, but the Midnight stuff. But this thing's just got a tremendous amount of freeboard, and I just don't see any way that Haulover's going to knock this thing out of the way, as we can see it enters the mouth of the inlet. One more good wave right there, but this crew is not going to have any issues getting this vessel into Haulover and will easily take a win for the boats here in the 4th round, which is going to take us to the 5th and final round of our contest. We are now tied at 2 apiece. Who will take the win? Will it be the boats, Haulover? Let's find out, as the boats are going to stick with the big boys, as we got a Sunseeker yacht closing this one out for the boats. You're probably thinking the same thing I am. Not a chance. Haulover is probably going down in this situation. This boat is a monster. Now, the only advantage Haulover has right this second is with the ladies up front. Captain doesn't really want to open her up at all, as he stays up there on the flybridge because he knows that'll put them in a risky spot. But here we go. Some of the big rollers starting to work its way through, and now our crew probably needs to lay into the throttle just a little bit to try and get this bow up. But again, with the ladies up there and the way Haulover's firing today, they have to use caution. They stuffed it right there. Oh my! I didn't think we would see a stuffing on a vessel this big, but that bow goes under. The ladies wind up getting soaked and catch a little air on the way down. Unbelievable. They were just moving so slow that the boat just got itself caught in a bad spot. They wind up taking a wave over the bow. And man, that's a tough spot to be in for a yacht like this, because we only have a few rules here on Boats vs. Haulover. And one of those rules, no kids in the bow with a life jacket. And rule number 2, you can't stuff it. If you stuff it, it's an automatic L. Even when we knew this boat we thought was going to wind up taking the win, unfortunately, it winds up taking the loss in this round, which means the boats wind up taking the loss in this episode. Thanks for watching, crew. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Boats vs. Haulover. If you did, please check out our other content. We have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things down at the inlets. My channel, Broncos Guru, does some great comedy boating videos there as well. And of course, we've got the Miami Boat Ramps channel that focuses on all the hilarity that happens at the boat ramps in South Florida. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.